What's good, gamers? Welcome to my Pendulum Pile deck profile. This deck includes many archetypes spanning from the Endymions to the Mythical Beasts to the Magicians. This deck is based around many different Pendulum archetypes, trying to spam Pendulum monsters onto the board and make powerful boss monsters. For example, like Apollosa, Bow of the Goddess, and Borlode Savage Dragon. So first I'm going to do a profile and I'll do a quick combo tutorial. To get things started here, we have one Servant of Endymion. This card is a starter for the deck, and it does a whole lot for the deck when you open it in your opening hand. You have two copies of Endymion, the Mighty Master of Magic. This card is a good powerhouse and semi-boss monster to use in this deck. For searchers for those four cards, you have three Spell Power Mastery. This card is great, and it's even better when you open it with Servant and this in your hand, because it gets you almost full combo from there. For our Mythical Beasts, we have two Mythical Beast Master Cerberus and two Mythical Beast Jackal King. These two can go back and forth between the boss monster you end on if you open Servant of Endymion. You can go Servant into either Jackal King or Master Cerberus. Getting on to our pendulum staples, we have three Chronograph Sorcerer and the one Time Geyser Magician, and the three Supreme King Dragon Darkworm, and the one Gate Zero to go with it. These cards are always great to see, but you don't want to see the garnets, obviously. These cards are always great to see. Onto our Magician package. We have three of the best Magician, Harmonizing Magician. This card is great to Pendulum Summon because it gets you another free body on the field. We have two Purple Poison Magician. This is the better of the one-off magicians like this, so I play two of it. One Blackwing Magician and one Performable Celestial Magician. Just has a good search target to always add something in the end phase. Now for our level 7 Magician monsters, because we always go into Aude's Absolute Dragon, because it gets us a Vortex Dragon. So our three level 7s are Dharma Eye Magician, Dragon Collar Magician, and Dragon Pit Magician. These cards do the same thing. They're just two low scales and one high scale if you need them. For our spells, for our spells for pendulums, we have two Pendulum Call. For other Pendulum support cards, we have one Anti-Human Intelligence Messiah. This card is great because it is a 0 scale and it has the banish effect. It has the semi-macrocosmos effect of banishing anything other than monsters from the field. The other monster effect doesn't come up very often, but it is still good to have. One Aether the Evil Powering Dragon, which you summon off of Heraldic Sealed Heavenly Spheres because it has a free banish. And then one Performable Crocobat Joker. It searches any of your magicians, and it's just a generally good card to link with. Now onto our spells. We have two Duelist Alliance. Search any part of the pendulum in its name. So we can search Pendulum Call, or this other card right here, Pendulum Treasure. This card just came out. It just released in the newest set, Dawn of Majesty. And it adds, it's almost like Electromite, since we don't have Electromite anymore. It puts one Pendulum monster into your extra deck. We have two Dragon Shrine to bin our Darkworm from the deck to the graveyard. One Foolish Burial to either bin Darkworm or bin a Spellcaster to get off of Selene. And one Upstart Goblin, just because draw support. Onto the extra deck here. we have the one link one, Guard Dragon Pisty. This is good to go into with Darkworm if you need to have a link in the grave for Borreload Savage Dragon. We have, for our link 2s, we have Heretic Sealed Heavenly Spheres. So it's good to summon with a Darkworm and a Vortex Dragon, or some other dragon monster you might have. One Beacop from the Underworld. You're almost always going into this because this is a generic link 2 that you can use to link climb with. Nightmare Cerberus. This can be any other link 2. This is just what I had on hand, and it works good in the deck sometimes. Onto our link 3s. We have Triple Burst Dragon. This is good to use with link climbing, or if you happen to use the actual effect of Guard Dragon Pisty here, it works pretty good with that. We have Selene, Queen of Master Magicians. This card is also very good with link climbing, and it also is very nice to get out a Foolish Burial, Endymion, the Mighty Master of Magic, to your field. Link 4s now. We have Apollousa, Bow of the Goddess. This is one of your boss monsters you're ending on. We have Saryuya Skulldread. This helps with link climbing and getting bigger monsters in the graveyard for Borreload Savage Dragon. We have Boros Sword Dragon, and we have Borreload Dragon. Just as good game enders. For our Odd Eyes engine, we have one Odd Eyes Absolute Dragon and one Odd Eyes Vortex Dragon. Your Vortex Dragon is always going to be, it's one of your most common boss monsters you're going to be ending on. Into our Synchros, we have Borreload Savage Dragon, another boss monster you're going into a lot, and F.A. Dawn Dragster. You can only summon this card with either Servant of Endymion or Time Gazing Magician and a tuner. And then our one-off card that can be anything else. This is a Magician of Hope. I play it just because it comes up sometimes. So now we will go on to a combo tutorial. Alright, for our combo tutorial, this is a quick 2-card combo with this deck that the deck has. So if you open Servant of Endymion and Spellpower Mastery, this can end you on either a monster negate, a spell trap negate, or if you have more spells in your hand, a monster banish. So you start off by activating Servant of Endymion, activating Spellpower Mastery. So the effect of Spellpower Mastery reads, you can add one Endymion card from your deck to your hand, and then you can place one spell counter on a monster that can hold spell counters for every Spellpower Mastery in your graveyard. So you put one on Servant of Endymion, and the Servant gains one counter because you activate a spell. Then you activate Endymion from your hand, which makes Servant go up to 3. Then you can Pendulum Summon or do whatever else you have in your hand. Then you activate the effect of Servant of Endymion. You move it, putting one counter on it, and then from there you can summon Jackal King, Master Cerberus, or another Endymion from the deck. This is up to you. If you're up against a matchup that uses primarily spell cards, you can go into Endymion. If you're in a matchup that uses a lot of spells, you can go into Master Cerberus, so you get a monster banish. If you're going against a monster heavy deck, you can go into Jackal King. For this example, we're going to go into Jackal King. So that gets one counter on it. A cool interaction that this deck has is that if you open Master Cerberus, you can scale your Master Cerberus, use its effect to pop itself, putting itself in the extra deck, and adding Jackal King to your hand. Then you can activate Jackal King, activate the effect of Jackal King to pop itself, and summon Master Cerberus from the extra deck. Right there, you already have a big body on board, which you can use for link material or attacking. Or now I'm going to do a quick test hand. So I'm going to take the top first. I just shuffled the deck. We're going to do a quick top 5 and see what we get from there. So we have Duelist Alliance, Skullcrobat Joker, Pendulum Call, Darkworm, and Dharma Eye Magician. So from here, let's see. We will activate Pendulum Call, discarding Darkworm to the graveyard to add 2 Magicians from deck to hand. So we're going to add, you're always adding Harmonizing Magician if you don't have it. And then from here, it kind of depends on your hand. If you have a level 7, then you do not need to add a level 7 to hand. So, as this example, we have a level 7. So for here, we're just going to add, a high scale Black Fang Magician, because we need it to Pendulum Summon with. Next thing we're going to do, activate Darkworm in our graveyard to summon itself. And then on summon, its effect activates to add a gate monster from deck to hand. So we're going to add gate 0. Next thing we're going to do, we're going to normal summon Skullcrobat Joker, activating its effect to add a magician from deck to hand. So we are going to add, in this case, it doesn't really matter, but you can add something like another level 7 to your hand or level 4. So in this case, we're going to add Celestial Magician. Then we're going to link summon these two into the link 2 I would say we go into Beat Cop. It's a generic link 2, which can go into anything. From there, we will activate Duelist Alliance and add Pendulum Treasure to our hand. Then we're going to activate that Pendulum Treasure. And we're going to put whatever we want really in the extra deck. So I might put here a Master Cerberus, just in case we want it. Next thing we're going to do here, we're going to scale our gate 0. We're going to scale Black Fang Magician. And we're going to Pendulum Summon. So we're going to summon a Harmonizing Magician, our level 7. And then we would always want to go into Darkworm if we can. And then you can either do Skullcrobat Joker or the Celestial Magician. I'm going to do Celestial Magician here so that we can search in the end phase. So on summon effect, Harmonizing Magician summons level 7 from our deck. So this will be Dragon Pit. Then you will overlay the 2 level 7 Magicians into Odd's Absolute Dragon. Then we're going to save our 2 Magicians over here, Harmonizing and Celestials. We can go into Borlid Savage Dragon later. So we will link Beat Cop and Darkworm. Darkworm goes to the extra deck. Into Triple Burst Dragon. Then we will link Absolute Dragon and Triple Burst Dragon into Heretic Seal of Heavenly Spheres. That triggers the effect of Absolute Dragon to summon 1 Odd-Eyes monster from the deck or extra deck. Summon Odd-Eyes Vortex Dragon. Then we will Synchro Summon with Harmonizing Magician and Celestial Magician into Borlid Savage Dragon, equipping our Triple Burst Dragon. So we ended a board with Heretics of Heavenly Spheres, Odd-Eyes Vortex Dragon, and a Borlid Savage Dragon with 3 negates. Plus, in the end phase, a search with Celestial Magician. We had 1 Pendulum monster from our deck to our hand. And we have full scales set up for next turn. So we have a Bounce, Omni Negate, and Omni Negate. Plus, with the second effective Seal, we can summon out Aether the Evil Empowering Dragon to get a Monster Banish. A targeting Monster Banish. This deck makes many boards like this. So I'm including Appaloosa for 3, a Jackal King, a Boiled Savage Dragon, a Hieratic Seal, a Jackal King or a Vortex, a Jackal King, a Master Cerberus for 5, Appaloosa for 3, and an Endymion with 1 counter on it. And money boards like that. This deck, going in uninterrupted, can make anywhere from 1 to 5 or 6 negates. Thank you all so very much for watching. If you liked the video, please leave a like. If you would consider it, please subscribe and leave a comment on what I should do next.